My name is Disco Fly. Today we are talking about the story of a happy man's miserable journey. This movie would not be known by so many people if it's not for the main character, who got globally outreached in the 90s by his own family show. The name of this guy is Mr. Bean, a man who can make millions of people laugh without saying one word. Due to his tremendous influence, he got a chance to appear in film twice. The film we are talking about is his second film, Mr. Bean's Holiday. Mr. Bean's Holiday came out in 2007 with a very joyful title. Mr. Bean was lucky enough to win a lottery that awarded him a trip to France. The destination is Cannes. It seems to be a very warm and pleasant story, but he had a bad start. Basically, he got on the wrong cab, went to the wrong place, missed the train, didn't know how to eat the local food, and finally, he accidentally made the father and his son separated. I know it's a lot to take in already, but his journey was just getting started. Bean wanted to look after the boy cause he thought it was his responsibility, but later he got revenged by the boy and lost his baggage on the train. Then, a man and the boy became homeless. They tried to use public telephones to call the boy's dad, but got into trouble. As time went on, they needed money for food, so they cooperated a wonderful street dance and got a lot of money from the citizens. Before they got onto the bus to Cannes, Bean dropped his bus ticket. Then the ticket was like it's got wings, and magically got escorted to a farm that was full of chickens. Bean chased there and failed to get the ticket back. Now everybody got separated, and Bean had to sleep on the hill for one night. On the next morning, he encountered a film set which was currently shooting a commercial. Over there, he met an actress named Sabine and the director Carson. Sabine drove the same model of vehicle as Bean's car, and she agreed to take him to Cannes with her. On the way, I still can't believe the luckiest encounter on Earth happened. Now, three of them started rushing to Cannes, where the Cannes Film Festival was happening at the moment. Sabine and the boy's father were both one of the attendants. Bean broke into the premiere of director Carson's questionable film. He used his camera to showcase all the moments of his trip, to make sure everybody saw Sabine on the screen. However, all of the frames were perfectly matched the narration, and made everybody, even director Carson, very happy and proud. The boy found his father, Sabine got famous because of it, and in the end, Bean finally found what he's been looking for. Overall, the structure of the plot is quite well done and clear to the audience. Even little kids will understand what this film is talking about. There are quite a few unpredictable moments that build up Mr. Bean's adventure to the climax, such as chasing the chicken and the event of Cannes Film Festival. The reason why I say the story is very lovely and relaxing is they repeatedly show us Mr. Bean's final objective, which is to the beach. The beach. The beach. The beach.
To the beach.
Another feature about this movie which I personally feel very unique is they used tons of footage from Mr. Bean's DV camera which he received at the beginning. What is impressive about this item is it was the only thing he didn't lose. The camera stayed with him for the entire movie. Mr. Bean, like all other travelers, loves to take videos around during his trip, and almost all the footage was shown in the movie, so it created a movie inside a movie situation. The fact the movie used the DV camera footage makes the story come alive, because this is what people do, and also brings the audience even closer to his trip. In the end, Mr. Bean put the footage together and showed it in the movie theater is quite a summary of his entire trip. He wasn't taking videos for nothing. It makes this DV camera item even more valuable in the film. The director Carson from the film, who was also very surprised and happy to discover this type of filmmaking, phrased it as video frame combination. But let's be honest, it's 2020 now. What does all of this sound like to you guys? Does it look like a vlog? Pretty much, yeah. Speaking of a vlog, in the year of 2000, A guy named Adam Contras made the world's first vlog video on the internet. It was his personal film about his trip to Los Angeles. The word vlog, aka video blog, was actually discovered in the 90s before internet is a thing. But due to the techniques are very simple, vlog wasn't a big deal in the old days. Even back in the early 80s, some filmmakers started to shoot videos in the first person by handheld. Today, we use vlog techniques mostly for travel videos, as well as experimental films and documentary. It's very rare to see a vlog footage in fictional films. As a matter of fact, they give us a very realistic feeling. Now, almost everybody has a smartphone. We use them to take videos around because we like to record the moments of life. Many filmmakers find it very difficult to use such casual and unprofessional footage for matching their films. However, there are exceptions, like Peter Parker's vlog at the beginning of the movie Spider-Man Homecoming. The amusement of this new Spider-Man character has brought to us allows us to get to know his personality better. In addition, there are tons of online horror films shooting in the first-person POV, also to let the audience fit into their world more effectively. However, back to Mr. Bean's holiday, it is my first time seeing the technique of combining vlog footage and film footage through the entire film. The two types of footage did a fantastic cooperation, and in the end, it even raised the vlog footage into the higher level. If you come up with any films that use the similar technique, please leave the comments below. Alright, let's talk about Mr. Bean for a bit. Rowan Atkinson, the actor of Mr. Bean, was born in 1955. Before acting for Mr. Bean, he was performing on stage. In 1975, Rowan achieved the Master of Science degree in Electrical Engineering at the Queen's College. That's how many people are so impressed by the big difference between Rowan himself and his character Mr. Bean. The opposite personality between these two has approved Rowan's incredible acting ability. Besides, his natural and creepy facial expression got him into a lot of trouble when he was young, but definitely paid off while acting as Mr. Bean. That leads to the unique feature about this character, his body language. Mr. Bean doesn't usually talk. He used his body to do tons of dramatic actions in order to entertain the audience. This is what we call the silent comedy, which wasn't the newest thing at the moment. There were a number of actors trying to get down this path, but couldn't find the beauty of it. Charlie Chaplin was the only one who brought silent comedy into a higher level. He loved to increase the frame speed and create a character and push the story forward. Throughout his visual humor, the audience can easily tell the theme of his story. There are issues in this society people need to know. There are issues that need to be solved. Comparing with Charlie Chaplin's ironies from his films, Mr. Bean is quite easy on us. Rowan likes to keep things as slow as possible, so that it can extend the duration of his funny movements. The long duration will magically reach the audience's laugh point. From the TV show Mr. Bean, which is his most famous work of all time, every story doesn't seem to have a big problem to its world. It's just a guy having a normal people's life in a uniquely funny way. It is hard to spot any subtext for educational purposes. That's why many people are not a big fan of Mr. Bean, and their reaction is like, he's funny, but silly. On the other hand, many people accept Mr. Bean's movement silliness as a positive element. It makes people happy and laugh, so it's not a bad thing. In my opinion, I understand both the likes and the hates. Some audiences think watching silly stuff is a silly thing to do, but at the same time, we can't deny the fact this is the art of humor. As a matter of fact, Mr. Bean is a child trapped in a man's body. Even Rowan himself admitted to that.
I don't know, it's just because he's a child. You know, Mr. Bean is a child trapped in a man's body. That's how I've always seen him. He's a 10-year-old at heart, and therefore, like children, he's naive, but also he's a natural-born anarchist. You know, he's just going to look after himself.
Yes.
Quite selfish.
Yes.
Selfish and self-centered. I mean, he can be fun, but quite unpredictable.
From this character's perspective, he has no judgment or criticism in his mind. Mr. Bean is just a man, once again, a child, who wants to live his life happily. and he just wants people to be happy. I still remember when I watched Mr. Bean for the first time. I was around 8 years old, laughing so hard and thinking this was the best show ever seen. That's how I believe kids should be more like the target audience for this show. A show that's just for fun and relaxation. It shouldn't be PG-13. However, we can't unsee the fact Mr. Bean is fading out from the movies and the TV. It's very hard nowadays to find space for the next generation to develop silent comedy and movement silliness. Today, people are more into language jokes. For films, the audience loves to laugh at meanings and cultural facts. The internet has gone wild. There's even a modern type of humor on trends. People call them memes. Movement silliness has been slowly pushed to the bottom. So now the question is, where is Mr. Bean? Is he going to appear again? Well, Rowan has given a straightforward answer in an interview.
You know, I doubt that he will reappear, but you never know. You must never.
After Mr. Bean, Rowan was actually active in a comedy series called Johnny English. The title is translated in some languages as something like Mr. Bean as a special agent. This hilarious special agent makes people think he's the next Mr. Bean. Personally, I doubt that. Although it's the same actor, the two universes are totally different, and the characters have different personalities and views of life. For the last 15 years, Rowan also kept making a cartoon version of Mr. Bean, but that didn't go big because it lost the beauty of this character, and the audience could not find the old feelings back. So from my perspective, the character Mr. Bean has most likely ended here, Mr. Bean's holiday. As the actor's getting old, it's getting less appropriate for him to play a young character again. But most importantly, at the moment Mr. Bean arrived at the beach, he's happy, he's full of joy. It looks like he's in heaven now. We have no clue if there will be any character who represents the next Mr. Bean, but we should all appreciate the fact they used such a brilliant way to end this character, a man who served for millions of people's childhood. For the future, I guarantee there will be a character who continues Mr. Bean and Charlie Chaplin's legacy, and this is something we all need to wait patiently. Alright, that is all. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
C'est mon cœur pour la vie.